What it do, YouTube/Patreon/BitShoot. Today's video, I'm gonna chime in with a quick impromptu video. In today's video, I want to talk about the blatant satanic worship in Birmingham, London, right? So every year, um, in London, they have a festival where they like worship the bull, which is basically symbology of Baal, which is a demon. And I talked about this, like I said, on my main channel. If you watch my main channel, which I clearly cannot get into my main channel right now because I'm locked out of it. But basically, like I told you, all this satanic bullshit started in Britain, from Aleister Crowley, from what's the other dude name? Um, Albert Pike, I think that's his name. All these different entities, all that shit started in Britain and London. This is where all this shit started. This is where all these people got their influences from. I don't know where those people like Aleister Crowley and Albert Pike and all them, I don't know where they got their influences from. All this shit started in Britain. And I think in 1974, the U.S. military actually recognized Satanism as an actual religion. No, I'm not saying that I agree with it. No, I'm not saying that I think it's cool. Nothing like that. You see what I'm saying? I know a lot of people gonna say we got free will to believe in what we want to. That's absolutely correct. But at the same time, when your religion consists in killing children and animals and innocent things, then that's a problem. You see what I'm saying? And like I say, a lot of these people, you know what I mean? And this is not everybody. So I have to state this because people will take the words and misconstrue it and all that shit. This is not everybody and necessarily every religion. Like Jehovah's Witnesses, it's a lot of people in there that's like a satanic occult, you know what I mean? But they still, on the outside pretend to be God-fearing people. You see what I mean? And that's not everybody that's in that religion. A lot of people are deceived or got brought into it because usually these people, they infiltrate you when you are going through a rough patch in your life because they know, oh yeah, all we gotta do is make this person's situation better and then they gonna work for us. That's how they basically look at it, you see what I'm saying? Instead of actually being a real God-fearing person that comes from the heart and say, I'm gonna help this person get on their feet, do the right thing. They don't owe me anything and not like that because I know the Most High God, Jesus Christ, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. You see what I'm saying? It's going to look out for me because and the thing is, you're not even supposed to help somebody just to get something in return anyway. You're supposed to do it out the kindness of your heart. You see what I'm saying? Then you got a lot of people that's into Mormonism. Like I said, not necessarily everybody that's a Mormon is a devil worshiper, but come on, the Mormon church was created by a guy named Joseph Smith about 165 years ago, probably about 170, 180 years at this point. You know what I mean? And it might be longer than that. But the thing is, I'm telling you, this is coming from a scholar named Bill Schneblin. You see what I'm saying? He used to be a high ranking Satanist and shit like that. So he was saved by Jesus Christ, right? And he talks about this, that he said it, that one of the satanic people he was involved with told him, if you ever get into spiritual trouble, you can always run to the Mormon church. Because the Mormon church was set up for people who's into that occult shit to be able to do that occult shit in secret, but to still appear as a God-fearing person. You see what I'm saying? So the deception out here is real. So I'm saying all that to say is that they doing this shit in Birmingham, London. They had like a 40-foot bull. Motherfucker probably was over 100 feet long, not including the tail. And this, and they're just blatantly worshiping it. And then if you actually watch the ceremony, and the thing is, you don't even want to necessarily watch it, or you know what I mean, or even if you just look at the pictures of it, because if you watch the ceremony, you pretty much going through the ritual basically, because the people who participate in the ritual, the people who's actually there in the stands, and the people who was watching the shit on TV all got inducted and initiated into the Baal ritual, the worship of the bull. You see what I'm saying? And they also had the Tower of Babel in the background of the ceremony. You know about the Tower of Babel. This goes back to the Bible. Really, this goes even deeper than the Bible because they don't really touch on it in depth. But if you know Billy Carson, shout out to Billy Carson. He's an astrophysicist from Queens, New York. He goes deep into this. He's been all around the world, getting ancient texts from different countries and piecing the puzzle together of what really went on and in the ancient past. And now I used to live in Australia, right? And when I was in Australia, I think this was around 2020, Billy Carson came to Australia, but he was in a different part. I was in Brisbane. He went to go see the Aboriginals, to go see the hieroglyphs, because if you don't know that ancient Egypt, which is not Egypt, is really ancient Kemet. You see what I'm saying? And Kemet means black. You know what I mean? And he went to go see the hieroglyphs because they have hieroglyphs from so-called ancient Egypt, which is really ancient Kemet in Australia. But during the wildfires in Australia, a lot of that shit got burned and destroyed. And I know this because he said it out his mouth. And I also know this for a fact because I was in Australia when it fucking happened. You see what I'm saying? That's the funny thing about it. Like, so I'm not just saying this shit just to say this shit. I'm saying this for a fact. You know what I mean? Billy Carson went to Australia to go see the Aboriginals. I'm not sure. I think he was in. He probably was in New South Wales. No, I don't think he was in New South Wales. I don't know what part he was, but I was in Brisbane, so it's a complete different part of Australia. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, I was there, so I had access to the Australian news, media, and just living in the city of Brisbane, which is in Queensland. You can go look this up. The state is Queensland. The city is Brisbane, and you could see, like, you was able to see and smell the smoke when I had my apartment out there. You know what I'm saying? I was able to smell and see the smoke all throughout the neighborhood. So it was from the so-called wildfires. But during those wildfires, a lot of those hieroglyphics from ancient Kemet, aka ancient Egypt, all got destroyed. But I think Billy Carson talked to the Aboriginals and took pictures and stuff of it before it all happened. I'm not sure. I would have to go back and look on his channel and find the video. But the thing is, he goes around and pieces together the information of the ancient past, right? And he talks about the Tower of Babel. I'm not going to necessarily go into the Tower of Babel because I don't really know about it 100%. I don't even really know about it 50%. So I don't want to say the wrong shit. But all this coincides with what I'm saying is because in Birmingham, London, which I didn't even know was a fucking place called Birmingham, London, they openly worship Baal or the Baphomet, or in layman's terms, the bull comes in different forms. You see what I'm saying? And this is a problem because, you know, back in the day, you couldn't do that because it wasn't recognized as a religion or whatever. Even if it is still recognized as a religion, it's still pretty creepy. But back in the day, before you did sports games and before you did, Olympics and all that shit, you was able to openly pray to God. Now it's a completely different ball game. You see what I'm saying? Because if you know about the Bible and not that fake international shit, I'm talking about the King James or the Ethiopian Bible or even the ancient text in a lot of these different countries. You know what I'm saying? Like Cambodia, motherfucking so-called Egypt, which is not Egypt. It's really Kemet, Israel, Jerusalem. I can keep naming places for days. You see what I'm saying? But if you know about these places, a lot of these places have the real ancient history, and they charge a lot of money for you to even read the damn tablets. You know what I mean? Even to, if not purchase and own them. And these people are openly worshiping Satan, which just goes to show you that we are in the latter days. We are in the end times. You see what I'm saying? And basically, a lot of people are being deceived, whether it's willingly, they willingly want to be deceived, or they don't even know what's going on because the truth has been hidden from them in plain sight that well that they just following along blindly, like a sheeple and just being misled. You see what I'm saying? And this is the type of shit that's going on because all this shit started there from the British intelligence. All this satanic shit started in Britain and has trickled throughout the world, and now it's an epidemic where a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a religion, it's all that." Yeah, you think so, but it's actually deeper than that. It's a fucking occult that you can't get out of unless it's blood in, blood out. See, a lot of people, what you talking about this Jesus stuff and all that. I already been talking about the Jesus stuff, but Jesus' name not even Jesus. You see what I'm saying? Jesus' name really is Yahushai, and that is Paleo Hebrew, which is a more ancient form of Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just incorporated spirituality was what's really going on. I'm not necessarily talking about religion and all that. I'm talking about actually getting the books and really deciphering the real information. Like I said, go look up Billy Carson, astrophysicist, knows his shit. Look up a scholar. Billy Carson is a scholar too, but look up this other scholar named Bill Schneblin. He talks about this too. He has a PhD, a DD, a MD, all that shit. You see what I'm saying? So he knows what he's talking about, and he used to be in that world. So why wouldn't you take it from somebody that used to be in that world that knows what they're talking about? You see what I'm saying? So it's just played. It's just not playing. It's just blatant deception and blatantly misleading people. And basically, the whole point of this video is to just bring your awareness to it. That one, if you watch the ceremony, you was inducted into the ritual and probably got your soul taken. And during this shit, I think this happened like over the weekend. Excuse me, that just passed. And over the weekend, I think they were showing the VMAs, the fucking music awards or some shit like that. See, it's just different distractions to keep motherfuckers distracted, but at the same time, it's really all the same shit, just a different setting. It's just worshiping these different ideologies and different entities in plain sight.